You normally get ordinary, down-to-earth people of all economic brackets and of all social situations who say they want to belong and who want to make a contribution to life. So it's open to everyone, and we get every type of person. But there are people who say this is not our go. There's some people who say, for instance, in the church, this is not religious enough. And for them, religion is either, saying prayers and or discussing. Well, that's part of it. But the real part of religion is loving one another and going out and talking to people like it, giving them, feeding people, caring for people, listening to people, visiting people when they're sick. We've even got into prison. I started off in America in a prison. That's where we started the family groups, in a maximum security prison among old fellows who've been there 30 years. They're in it. We call them brothers for all. The only thing about those guys is they can't have a weekend away. I said, keep digging and we'll get there. Interestingly enough, people who belong to the family groups, you find them joining parish councils, you find them joining discussion groups, you find them in the youth movement for the youth. You find they're able, once they belong, their talents blossom into other areas within the church, within the school community, and within the community at large.
What made you join the family group movement?
I think originally it was probably my wife that convinced me to do that, but I was a non-Catholic at that particular stage, and non-Catholics have a bit of a fear and a trepidation. But I got involved because my wife took me to she eased me in. She took me to a few family group meetings, and I became so involved and enjoyed everybody's company so much. But in addition to that, at that particular time, Barbara and I started to have children, and we ended up having 5 children under 3.5. And we got enormous support from our family group over a long period of time.
I joined the family group for friendship and belonging, but it turned out really I got a heck of a lot of support from them in the nicest way, because we had all these little children and they became part of that family, and they've just been very supportive in the early days, and even like later on when we had teenagers and things were pretty difficult, and they were always there to listen and to just help me shoulder all the weight of 5 young children, whether they're babies or teenagers. So I really got that sense of family, belonging, an extended family.
I wouldn't say there's a religious element as in like religion, as in if you're talking about Catholic religion, Anglican religion, because we've got family groups in all the different denominations of the faith, the Christian faith. We yet haven't got family groups in the Jewish faith or Islam either, but that could come. That could come because we're all brothers and sisters. We're all together.
Being a Catholic or being a Christian, being a part of this church means that everyone here is essentially your family. Right? That's the essence of what I think St Anthony's is. It's everyone here is a part of the family, and it doesn't matter if you leave here for a while or you grow up and you go away and you come back. You still always feel very welcome, and I think that's really important. So I've got a lot out of it. It's great. Yeah, and I hope to bring my kids one day when I have them up in the same environment.
We haven't got religion in the sense, that sort of religion in the sense as a label. It's more faith. It's more the deeper level than the head. It's matters of the heart. If you're talking about religion of the heart, I'm with you. If you're talking about faith, a religion of the head, I'm not with you. It's getting down to people, the heart, matter of the heart. And that's where family is. Family is a matter of the heart. So in that sense, it's religious. But I'd rather talk about it being heart, human, and faith.
Lord, I am not worthy to receive you, but only say a word and I shall be forgiven.
In the church in the future, there aren't going to be as many priests. In the parish, it's not just, though, because I am the only priest here, but the whole purpose of ministry in the future, its whole path will be the parish taking responsibility for pastoral care for one another, not depending on the priest to do it. I find in the parish where I've celebrated weddings, I have celebrated funerals, I've celebrated baptisms, I have been to the hospital to visit the sick, and every time the pastoral care hasn't been just what I've done. The family groups have been involved, planning the weddings, being there with the family in their grief, preparing with them for the funeral, being at the hospital often days before I've even found out the person was ill. I bring the sacraments, I bring the blessing, I bring the presence of the church. In one way, I also bring my own particular gifts just as a person. But I find the pastoral care isn't just what I do, it's what we do together as a family for one another.
I think the family group, essentially, the spirit of the family group is Christianity trying to foster the ideals of Christianity. We often fail because we're human, and so we've got to pick ourselves up again and look at what we're doing and try again. And I think that's really the essence of the family group, is trying all the time to foster those ideals of Christianity and loving one another and finding Christ in each other.
There's one last development that I'd really like to stress and I'm really keen on, and that's the fact of the family group movement, the Passionist family group movement going into the schools. I really think it's fantastic because very, very often our church community is greying and our school community of parents and children are not attending church. And I think that can be said statistically, particularly in the cities. So to bring the family group movement into the school is to say to the parents, we've got something to offer you, and to the children will benefit from it. First of all, your children benefit because they experience a community more than their own nuclear little family surrounding them in their school efforts and in their efforts in learning about the faith and the sacraments and reconciliation and forgiveness and communion. So it's really, really important for the children. It's important for the parents because Christianity is community built and it's based on community. So these parents are establishing real family, extended family on faith. And they're really practicing their faith by loving one another. It benefits the church because it means now the church is not just an old church, but it's a vibrant church where the parents see that the faith is a very practical component of their life. And finally, I think the family is absolutely necessary in the future. It has to be for children, parents, and for us all. Not just the family of the family groups, but families in the church and families in the world. The world has to be one big family of brothers and sisters, and we're making our effort to do that.